Hey, pervy sage.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Full Nerd Academia podcast. I'm your host, Master D. Maito. Joined as what's going on here? Hold on a second. Okay, yeah, I wasn't in the center of the screen here. What's going on? Anyways, I'm your host, Master D. Maito. Joined as ever by the wonderful, the lovely, the late as F. Always trying to make an entrance. That's what I'm about to. Bankai Merc.
Oh, I was about to say, I know I did it this time. I made sure I got it right, and I am here. It's one of the best intros that I have ever heard. It is definitely top 5.
It's up there. It's up there. But you know what? It's not as good as this. Hold on a second.
I don't hear anything. I don't hear anything.
Oh, maybe it's just playing on my end. Maybe it's just playing on my end. Maybe I have to actually share the screen in order for it to play, which is stupid. This sucks. I thought I was supposed to be playing through my freaking.
You gotta play it now. So we gotta know. What is it? Talk to me.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah, hold up. Here it is.
Nope, still not playing. There we go. I can't disagree. I just can't disagree.
Neither can I, because it's dope. So if you guys didn't read the title, if you didn't get it by that intro there, or even by like my background, we're going to be talking about X-Men today. We're going to be talking about X-Men 97, the finale of season 1 specifically, because it was a freaking banger. I forgot to get that sound on the board, so I'm gonna have to add that soon. But you already know what it is.
Yeah.
Each episode was a banger after banger after you ain't gonna freaking join in after banger after banger
after banger after
banger.
Oh my god. 10 episodes.
Literally 10 episodes. Straight fire.
Straight. Put that bitch on flames. I couldn't put the water out how bad it was. That greatness. Like, this is like what we've been waiting for a cartoon or just a show period. Like, we got a few of those, we got some good ones, but man, it's so great to have this back. And man, that last episode just on the edge of my motherfucking seat. So we had our speculations. Yeah, we had our speculations. We thought we were going to see what we're going to see. So we did not, like you said, spoiler, we did not get Onslaught right now. But, man, I definitely called it, but I'm not going to talk about that until we finish talking about the episode itself, like that last part of the episode.
Dude, so this entire episode was just so sick. And like, honestly, it feels like when they were making this episode, when they were making this whole entire season, this whole series thus far, it was like, you know what? Let's freaking throw everything into this. Like, we're not going to get another effing season. Like, we're going to throw everything that we can into here. If they put a bunch of cameos in here, which we'll be getting to very soon. In the finale alone, I mean, through the entire season, there's been a ton of cameos, both from X-Men characters and just like Marvel characters in general. Both heroes, villains, and like outside of that. So like, that's freaking awesome. So they were throwing all that into there, and then on top of that, the story, while admittedly, I will 100% say that it has been a little hand wavy here and there. Ultimately, like the overall narrative of the story for this season, as well as like all the stuff and like that we saw, whether it's like the effects of everything, the overall animation style, like they threw like everything at the wall and were like, dude, we're throwing everything into this just in case we don't get another crack at this. And I mean, to the point where like all the music was really great, like especially in this last episode, dude. Like I went back and listened to it and I was trying to find it on YouTube because it's not on YouTube yet. Like the point in Asteroid, like when Asteroid M's falling and they're trying to stop it, they did the theme song, but in like opera. It was insane. Like it was that good. Like they made it like really have some gravitas to it. I was like, oh my god, this is so good. This is so good.
Man, it was so. Yeah, I was gonna say it was so dope to see like each and every character during that episode too. Not even just like the X-Men, we got to see Spider-Man in this episode, and then
we'll get into that right now. Let's start from the beginning of the episode. So, starting off from where we left off last time, they're on Asteroid M, and at this point, Magneto and Charles are kind of in a struggle. Wolverine has gotten the adamantium ripped out of his body, and basically everybody's trying to stop Magneto from destroying the world, pretty much. This and like within the first 15 minutes of this episode, not only do we get a bunch of cameos, but like we get like what the crux of the episode is going to be, which is Charles like mind blasts Magneto, and then from there, basically, like it's like they're in Magneto's mind, and they're trying to like Charles is kind of helping him piece it back together and trying to help him like overcome this hatred that he has. Because like the backdrop of it is they're in a bar in Germany where they first met, but outside it's like flooding. Like an ocean or whatever is like flooding, and like it's just continuously like the water levels are rising and trying to like basically destroy the bar that they're in. It's more or less like Magneto drowning in his own hatred type of stuff, which like in itself is pretty amazing. But like in this first 15 minutes we start getting all kinds of freaking cameos. Because what happens is when Charles mind blasts Magneto, he basically hijacks his powers in order to like turn all the power back on. And so from there, we get a bunch of freaking cameos, just like what we did when Magneto shut the power off. And to start it off, we got
Silver Samurai.
We did see.
He's calling me to do it.
Oh no, you're good. We did catch a glimpse of him. I want to say in that same episode, the episode where just like 2 episodes ago when the power went off. And after that,
Cap and Iron
Man. They're in the bunker with President Kelly, basically like monitoring the situation, trying to talk him out of doing something that he's going to do towards the end of the episode. From there, we move on to
Dr. Stephen Strange.
Dr. Stephen Strange performing surgery, no less. with the freaking hand motions and everything. That's pretty wild.
That is.
After that, so we run into my boy.
Son Matt Murdock.
Yeah, he's over here. It's like over here. He's like trying to stop. He's like trying to stop a freaking like
a robbery.
I think it was. Like that. He's like trying. Yeah, he's like stopping looting and stuff like that. And I was listening to a YouTuber recently. And he was like they were kind of breaking down the episode and like talking about it, reviewing and stuff like that. He's like honestly, like I feel like there was bigger things happening that he probably could have just let the looting go. You know, like why worry about people looting and stuff? So long as they're not like beating each other up and like, you know, holding each other at knife and gunpoint, then like, dude, whatever. There's bigger problems. There's bigger fish to fry. Like, just let it go. But no, you gotta like no looting type of shit.
So all right, here's the funny thing about that. Like, if you're a New Yorker, you know this really happened. So this really happened in New York as well. When the power went out and people started looting stores. This was like back in, I think either early 2000s or it was the 90s.
Well, I thought it was like the late 90s, probably around this time, 97 when this is set.
Yeah. I believe so. So like that's the funny thing. That literally like happened in real life, that there was a bunch of stores that was being looted when the power went out. So to me, I started laughing when I saw this.
Yeah, dude, I honestly I didn't correlate. Okay, so New York City blackout of 77. Okay, it was 2003. There was it says Northeast blackout of 2003.
Yeah.
And Manhattan blackout of July 2019. So it wasn't around this time necessarily, but it wasn't too far off because 2003 at the time of when the show was set is 97, so that's only 6 years prior. Still fairly timely, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty wild. But from here, like you see him taking out some looters and stuff like that, clothesline some dudes, and then I can't remember who it is that basically he was fighting with, and then they knocked him through a window.
It was the Sentinels, the human Sentinels.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Because with the power coming back on, the Prime Sentinels came back up, and so they knocked him out. They basically threw him through a window, and then who popped out to
humanoids? Cloak and Dagger.
Cloak and Dagger.
So for people who don't know, Cloak is the black guy, Dagger is the white girl.
Hence the big cloak, and then her holding the little white
dagger. Mm-hmm.
Honestly, kind of an underrated duo in Marvel Comics.
Facts.
I feel like, and the fact that they actually animated and put them into the show is kind of wild, because I don't think they ever popped up at all in any of the 90s shows, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't believe so.
The only time I
remember some Spider-Man cartoons.
Yeah, I saw them in. They were a big part of Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon, the one from like the 2010s. Because they were like part of the team or whatever. And then on top of that, they also had their own live action show, which honestly wasn't too bad. It was just it was on a network that nobody really watched, Freeform.
But it was good. I enjoyed watching it.
I enjoyed it too. Season 2, if I remember, I'm trying to think if I finished watching it all the way, but overall it was a pretty decent show. So that's neither here nor there, guys. We're over here talking about Marvel animation right now. So we get the Cloak and Dagger cameo, and then right after that we run into
Do It for Wakanda, baby, Black Panther. And there's a twist to this one.
Oh yeah, there's a twist to this one that pops up. We find out later. So it jumps to Wakanda. We see that there's Prime Sentinels trying to get through to the window here to Black Panther, and then you got the Dora Milaje in the back. In this scene,
like
Black Panther freaking kills it. Go ahead, tell him what he do.
So this scene was absolute fire. My man didn't flinch or budge. My man looked at them and said, "Oh, for real? You trying to violate here in Wakanda?" In one swipe, boom, breaks. They're out the picture. I was like, "Damn, that's tough." I said, "Yo, my man I was like, yo, my man T'Challa was wilding, and I was like, damn, like he didn't have to do him like that.
Right, but the fold to this was later on in the episode. The president is, considering options, right? Of what are we going to do to stop Asteroid M from plummeting into or being sent into Earth type of shit. And so he's talking to people, his advisors are telling him, just do it, just do it. Just do it, Mr. President. And like Cap is like trying to tell him like, hey, like trust the X-Men. They're gonna work this out. And he's talking, and like he has somebody on the screen, and they're talking to him. I can't remember what the conversation was, or what like the small little back and forth was. But we find out that the Black Panther that they're speaking to is King T'Chaka. So this Black Panther is King T'Chaka, not King T'Challa, which we'll be diving a little bit more into in a little bit here as well. But that's, so we were like, King T'Chaka, what? But then at that point, that's, President Kelly decides that he's going to go ahead and send the nukes up to Asteroid M and destroy it before it destroys Earth, not realizing that if he sends those nukes up there, it's going to destroy the core, that thing that's kind of helping to hold it together and power it, which will send it plummeting to Earth, and then eventually kill everybody on Earth or destroy the planet anyway. So he's kind of, damned if you do, damned if you don't type of thing. So, or at least he's taken it into his hands to destroy the Earth, which is kind of ridiculous in and itself, in and of itself. But so moving on from King T'Chaka, we also had this cameo, which was kind of cool. This is the Winter Guard. And it's not the whole Winter Guard, it's just a couple of them, but we got Crimson Dynamo up in the, I'm over here trying to point out the screen and stuff, but in the top
right,
left corner here is Crimson Dynamo. Down in the center, obviously, is Omega Red, and then off in the corner, the lady in the dark with the gold like diamond is Dark Star. So cool, that's awesome. We've seen Omega Red in the show before. Crimson Dynamo might have shown up in the Iron Man series, I don't remember, but I don't think we've seen Dark Star or any like them as a team. So the fact that they jumped in to like start, obviously protecting Mother Russia, from the Prime Sentinels and stuff is pretty dope. So I imagine that we might be ending up seeing them a little bit going forward from there. So the characters we've got here. So obviously right up front here, probably the most recognizable of the bunch is Psylocke. And this is Quanen's Psylocke, but technically I'm pretty sure has Betsy Braddock's mind. It's a whole thing. I can go into that, into all that in another episode for you guys, if you guys are interested in who Psylocke is and who the two Psylocke people are. But it's not just her. Obviously, we got a couple of people here, and this isn't actually even the full picture. But like, so in the back, in the white and black here, we've got North Star, and then right across in the same outfit is his sister Aurora. The gentleman here that's kind of blocked up by the light, but like in the scene itself, you can, the effects come down and you can see his face. That's Puck. So these three characters here are all part of a super group in Marvel related to the X-Men called Alpha Flight. They're basically like Canada's version of the Avengers or the X-Men. And then I didn't realize it before. I thought that this was probably somebody who was also part of Alpha Flight, but it's not. This is actually a character named Cypher, who is a mutant and has the mutant ability of like being able to speak with other entities, something along those lines. I don't remember exactly. I'm not a huge like Cypher fan or know much about her, but I know that she does play a big part in like the Krakoan era. After that, we had morph into a couple of different people this episode. More from last episode. So I mean, last episode, I think it was last episode. The biggest thing was he morphed into the Incredible Hulk, which was freaking sick. But here you saw him as Sauron, which is the big like pterodactyl man that could shift from being a man to obviously this thing. And then Mr. Fantastic from the Fantastic Four. That's okay. So this is from a scene where Charles and Magneto are in Magneto's mind, and Charles is trying to, still trying to talk him through it and everything. And basically, the entire reason why these wars keep rising and stuff is like that is because Magneto he's lost part of his memory, and he's only remembering the like bad things about his parents being gone, and he doesn't remember what they look like, and Charles lied to him and all these other things. And through this, like, the only faces that he can seem to remember are going to be these four faces. Now, the one obviously that stands out is Rogue. That's nothing new. He and him had a big part to play together in this entire series thus far. But obviously, the bigger standouts are going to be these three shadowy figures here. Now, two of whom I want to say we've already seen. One, I'm not entirely certain. I can't remember. I'd have to go back and rewatch the whole series to see if we did in fact see her. But we got Quicksilver here, obviously. That's his son, Pietro. See the silver hair, the blue/silver clothing. And then in the green here, we got Polaris, who we did kind of quickly see in a photo of X Factor from Forge's house, if I'm not mistaken. And then obviously, if you got Quicksilver, you got to have his twin. We got Scarlet Witch over here in the corner. Shout out to Wonder. I know you're watching. I know that's your girl. But we got Scarlet Witch over here, and that's the one that I can't remember if we did end up seeing her in the series yet or not. Whether obviously as a flashback or like a cameo or whatever. But we had more.
Not in 97. I think she was an original X-Men. Yeah, when they started Genosha.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. I know she was in the original series. I just know I couldn't remember if in 97 she had popped out yet.
I don't think so.
But yeah, so everybody was kind of like, "Damn, Magneto, you're remembering. You can't remember your kids' faces, but you could remember the quote unquote love of your life, or this woman that you had a fling with for a little bit." So I thought that was kind of funny. Anything to add on this, dude? Before we keep moving on, I feel like I'm like dominating this right now.
No, I really have nothing to say for up to this part. Outside of, I mean, it definitely got way more interesting once it started diving into like all the characters that you see. I don't know if you're gonna go back and start naming off all the characters that we saw as well, but
I have some more. I have some more in here, but so at this point in the episode, like I said, I mean, Charles is still trying to talk Magneto down and get him to like come back, and remember and everything like that. And it's like, hey, I'm your friend, I'm your brother, we've been family, or we are family type of thing. And he's, Magneto's like, he's upset and angry at the point that he doesn't remember what his parents looked like. He thinks that somebody wiped that memory away from him. And Charles straight up and down tells him Magnus, you lost your parents when you were young. Like, you were a young boy. The reason you don't remember their faces is because it happened so long ago. Like, you've let other things consume you to the point that you can't remember their face. Like, you remember these other people's faces, or you remember Rogue because she was a big part of your life. You remember me because I'm I'm here with you right now. Like, we're your family now. You can't remember your family because they were taken away from you from, you know, so long ago and stuff. You know, and in the backdrop of all this, you know, that's happening in Magneto's mind. On Asteroid M, the X-Men are they've rallied, right? Sunspot and Rogue have kind of rejoined the team. They're all there together trying to fight Bastion.
Mm-hmm. They're trying to get him to realize, like, he was actually trying to be recruited instead of him. Like, they feel like he felt like they ignored him, and it was like, no, that's not true. Like, Professor Xavier came to come get you, but your mother wouldn't allow you to go because she thought like we were bad and we weren't doing anything bad. We were literally trying to come here and protect you, and he didn't want to believe them.
Right, like to the point that they even said, like, you know, we have a photo of the first class. Like, that should have been you. You should have been on that photo. Like, you should have been in that photo, because like the way that they made it seem like Professor X actually went to him first.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just he's not wanting to hear it. He's not wanting to have it.
No, he felt like his gift was a curse, and
right.
He didn't want to, so he utilized it in the way he felt like was best for him, was try to erase all mutants, since he didn't like his powers. So I was like, damn, like, you don't like your own powers, but you are over here trying to erase erase your own kind, when your own kind was actually trying to recruit you so you wouldn't feel left alone. Because that's the biggest thing. Like, he felt like he was alone in the world, even though all he had was his mother. But his mind was like, all right, I'm a mutant and there's no other mutant but me, type thing. So then when he found out, but he was not too happy. But man, like, those Prime Sentinels that he created is crazy.
It is. It's really insane. All the Prime Sentinels are wild. And then so while they're on Asteroid M here, they're trying to fight him, and so then they kind of start getting the upper hand on him. And so he calls in. He calls into like the Sentinels, not the Prime Sentinels, but like the normal, you know, everyday Sentinels and stuff, the giant ones, right? One pops through the ceiling, comes down, and, you know, lands and stuff, and he's like trying to move it, but it's not moving. He's like, you know, what's going on? Turns out this is the team that was, you know, on the Galapagos Islands that went to go fight Sinister, right?
Mm-hmm.
They went to go fight Sinister, and well, originally that's where Bastion was, I think. Yeah, Bastion was originally there. So they were actually there to fight Bastion originally. Ended up having to fight Sinister. They, you know, commandeered a Sentinel, and like Beast rigged it so that they could freaking fly it out to space. And then the rest of the squad gets together. You know, Forge, Storm, Beast. Was Nightcrawler there? Or was Nightcrawler?
Yeah, Nightcrawler
team.
Nightcrawler was there.
Okay. Either way, so they all get together, and then they start fighting. They start fighting Bastion. Oh, one thing I forgot: when they were in the Galapagos, Bastion was still down there, and he freaking he tore Cable's arm off and used the like metal to like create his wings and shit, so that he could fly to space to the asteroid. Because he was basically trying to stop them. And through that, I remember. I'm trying to remember how exactly it happened. I should have rewatched the episode before we got on here. But which happened first? Was it the like astral projection to Nate from Scott and Jean before Bastion got up there, or was that after Bastion got up there that he astral projected?
I was after.
It was after? Okay.
Yeah, because that's when that happened when the president sent the rockets.
You're right. Yeah. So yeah,
and that's what you're saying. Captain and Iron Man was trying to stop him from doing it, but he did it. And then they sent the astral projection to Cable, and Scott was like, "Look, I'm gonna do something my father didn't do for me." And he was like, "What's that?" Like, I like Cable's attitude in this part, and he's like, I forgot what he said exactly in that, but I like his attitude. And he was like, "Nah, it's I'm having a goodbye to you before something happens." I was like, "Damn, that's deep." I was like, fuck Scott Summers. And he's in his last episode. Scott, he's an idiot. He got Wolverine killed. Or he didn't get him killed, but I was like, he got Wolverine to lose his adamantium. This dude's an idiot. To the damn, yo, Cyclops is the shit. Like he's really holding it down.
That's what I'm saying, dude. They really freaking like. It's been like a roller coaster ride with Scott this whole season. So like, first episode, everybody was like, "Yo, this is Cyclops. This is your Cyclops. Like this is who he is." Okay, I'm with it. And then only for like a couple episodes later for everybody to be like, "Fuck, dude, what the hell? This fucking guy. Who is this dude? What's going on with him?" And it's like, I would never leave my child only for him to turn around to fucking go and leave his child. And everybody's just like, forget this dude, man. He's a freaking bum. Everybody's like, "Shut up, bitch!" to this dude, and everybody started hating on him again. And like, they really kind of got you to start hating on him again. It's like, damn, dude, the Cyclops. They just turned around and got me to start hating. I just started liking you, and they just got me to turn around and start hating you again. Only for them to then flip it and be like for him to like have a rousing speech to his son and like tell him like, something so sentimental and like make you like, oh, damn, dude, I would say something like that to my son if I had one, type of shit.
Not even that part. Even before that, when Bastion got up there and it was time to get busy, and him, Nightcrawler, I forgot who and Morph, and there was a couple others that when it was working Bastion, I was like, nah, all right, Scott, you got it. Like, you doing your thing.
Oh yeah, he cranked it up. He went full. I was like, why is he just doing these little tiny ass beams on him, dude? And then literally like the second after I said that, he hit the and freaking like damn near knocked his wig back. I was like, okay, all right, Scott. And then for them to make the call to Cable and say that stuff, it was so sentimental, especially because Jean was just like, or Scott was just like, I want my son to see my eyes. And he like pulled the visor off, and Jean like held his jeans back, and then so that they could see that they have the same eyes, which was touching. I was like, oh, so sweet.
Yo. And then once he said, "All right, well, goodbye," he said, "All right, Jean." No, he said, "All right, Jean, it's time." My man said he started to put him on. I was like, "Oh, the power go!"
He left him off because he had to hit. He hit something. He had to like feel something with energy. So he like did the whole concussive blast into it, like the full beam. He was like, screw these motherfuckers, and and you could see like the freaking tears in his eyes and shit. He was like, he had just like left the sun and stuff, and he's just letting it all go. Like, dang, man, wild. Such good stuff. And then so that's happening on the inside. Obviously, and there's more going on. I think Beast is doing something.
Beast was on the inside trying to control it. Rogue's on the outside trying to stop it.
Yeah, she's like literally pushing it. Literally, like freaking pushing it.
Jean's trying to hold it as well. Like, there was everybody putting in work in that last episode, in that last like bit of a moment, and then Professor X.
By the way, that's when the music had kicked in. The freaking like operatic.
I'm skipping the whole part, so I didn't know if you wanted to go into this now. Then we got to see some more cameos.
Let's see, who else do we got? Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, that's the one I was just about to say. You got Harry, Peter,
it's
Mary
Flash.
Jane. Oh, Flash Thompson? I thought it was Harry.
Yeah.
No, you're right. It is Flash Thompson. It looked like Harry at first, but I forgot Harry has. Yo, I ain't gonna lie. I don't know if you ever noticed, but Harry was a redhead with waves. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh yeah, him and his dad both. That's how they look in the comics too. They're like redheads, red or brown hair with like waves. It's like, huh?
I had to point that out, but yeah, you got this. Like, bro, when I saw Peter, like I didn't have to see the full thing. I saw the shirt and the jacket. I said, "Oh, it's Peter."
It like I remember, and I think you and I said it happened to both of us. But like we're while watching and stuff, like this scene popped, and I was just like, looked at it, didn't react at first, and I was like, it went to the next scene. It was like, oh, hold up a second, that's who I thought it was. I was like, oh snap, Peter, MJ, and then I was like, oh, that's Flash in the back.
That's the thing. I was like, oh, it's Flash, but it's Peter and MJ. My guy, yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't in the suit this episode, but like, we got to see him in the suit once and then out of the suit again, so it was pretty sick. Which, like, going into that, I mean, I'll go into that in a little bit here because somebody mentioned something and I was just like, that's right, I forgot about that. Something about Spider-Man the animated series. So, but yeah, so that's all happening. Everybody's kind of watching that something's going on in the sky. Freaking Jean and Storm are in space, basically trying to stop this thing too. Jean and Storm like combine their powers to keep pushing it. So like a telekinetic push and like a wind tunnel, basically trying to push it. Storm's trying to push it. Nightcrawler, I remember he's on the asteroid. I think he's just like he's praying the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
But like everybody's like doing everything that they can, and then eventually Charles gets through to Magneto like the last second, and Magneto like pops awake, and it's like big huge moment. Magneto lives, and then he freaking like rises up and like activates his powers to like get the asteroid to like halt. So it's like everybody's won. This is awesome. Everybody won, and then all of a sudden, there's like a bright light and a big explosion, and the asteroid's just gone, vaporized. You think like, shit, did the asteroid just blow up? Oh, sorry, dear. We don't. It's not going to show show you waving with the emoji, but hi. Either way, so then we're just left there like, what? Huh? What happened? What the hell happened? But then it cuts to 6 months later, and it's Forge, and there's a couple other people. Okay, Penguin Wave. I don't know. It's Forge and a couple other people. I'm pretty sure Jubilee and probably Sunspot, if I'm not mistaken. Or no. Damn, I don't remember. It was Forge.
Jubilee and Sunspot.
Were they the ones with him? Pretty sure, right? I'm pretty sure Sunspot was with him. Because I'm pretty sure I know the team that they're going to be making up in the next season. But
I know Jubilee and Sunspot was sitting there watching when the asteroid disappeared.
You're right. So Forge and Sunspot and Jubilee are there like 6 months later, and they're trying to figure out exactly what happened.
No, the part you're talking about, it was just Forge by himself, and then Bishop came and started talking to Forge, and he was like, "You don't know who I am right now, but we are best friends."
And then he's just like, he's like, oh, it's not a matter of where they are, it's a matter of when.
Yeah.
So like, then it cuts to, we see that there's a team in the past, there's a team in the future. Team in the past runs into a little bit of somebody, Oh, this is the future. Hold on. The team in the past runs into a little somebody who's being attacked by some raiders or whatever in ancient Egypt. This is like 3000 BC or something along those lines, and we find out that this is Ensabanur, aka, if you know, you know.
Apocalypse,
baby. And then cut to the future, and we see it's just Jean and Scott, and they're met by this tribe of people. And this woman here, she calls herself Mother Ascani. So if you know anything about the X-Men, you know who the Ascani is. The Ascani is actually Rachel Summers, who is Jean and Scott's child, who has, who was a host for the Phoenix, who is a powerful telepath and telekinetic. So this is her in the future, and she's actually taking care of little Nathan Summers, aka Cable, or aka Nate Gray, the X-Man. Basically, he's supposed to be like mutant Jesus. And then, so, you think that's the end or whatever like that, but cut to the present day, Nosha, still in ruin, still in rubble and everything like that, and then we get this deep, booming voice that says, oh, I loved this line too, and it's just like, so much pain, my children, so much death. And he pulls out from the rubble like a little burnt up playing card, and instantly right there you're like, that's freaking Apocalypse, and we're getting Death Gambit, damn it. Getting Death Gambit. Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. This episode was just so good.
It was put together very well. The whole series put together very well. Like you said, we got everything we were looking for. Great animation, a great story, great music. Everything about it was just done great. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, bro, I can't wait for season 2. When are we getting season 2? I need season 2. Like, I 100%. Felt like a crack fiend. I need season 2.
Y'all got any more of X-Men 97?
Yeah, hell yeah, need it.
Bro. So let's get into the other half of what we were wanting to do with this. So, spoiler alerts over, guys. I mean, we didn't really give you a spoiler warning, but we flashed it up on the screen and everything. Now we're going to go a little bit of something we like to call a speculation station. Okay, this is something that he and I were like real in depth about when we after we saw this episode, and like mostly because it came from the whole thing to do with
the whole cameos,
all the cameos, and then the fact that we got not T'Challa but King T'Chaka as Black Panther. Now, you could always just say like, oh, these are just throwaway cameos. This doesn't really mean anything. Blah blah blah. But why tell us that it's King T'Chaka, Black Panther, when most people are going to be familiar with T'Challa? So if they wouldn't have said his name T'Challa, we would have just assumed that it was T'Challa, right? But they said T'Chaka for a reason. You don't just throw that into a show willy-nilly like that if nothing's going to come from it, So like that right there kind of gave us the spark that was like, damn, maybe they're going to freaking bring back. They're gonna start. I feel in my bones that they're gonna bring back like the golden age, a new golden age of Marvel animation. Because arguably, a lot of at least most of us '90s kids would say that the golden age of Marvel animation was the '90s. Like, because you got so many shows. You had freaking Fantastic Four. You had Spider-Man the animated series. You had X-Men the animated series. You had Iron Man the animated series. Incredible Hulk was a series. Silver Surfer was a series.
And then we also had the Avengers United. Is it United We Fall? United Stand.
Yeah, which didn't connect to the other ones. I mean, technically, the other ones didn't really connect so much. The only one that you could say that kind of connected to any of the other ones was Spider-Man, because he always had cameos of the other people. Like, they had full-on episodes dedicated to him teaming up with these other characters and stuff. Mm-hmm. So you can almost always say that, like, hey, this takes place all in the same universe, even though none of them really crossed over into any of the other shows necessarily. Incredible Hulk,
like you said,
had, or was it Fantastic Four? One of those two had an episode with Ghost Rider in it. Silver Surfer gave you a lot of like cosmic characters, all that. I mean, Daredevil showed up in freaking Spider-Man so many times. Punisher did. Blade, and freaking Morbius. So I before we move into more of this, dude, I want to tell you something. So I pulled this up. This was called the Marvel Animated Universe, right? MAU. The television series that has listed what I just said. So X-Men, Fantastic Four, Iron Man, Spider-Man, Incredible Hulk, Silver Surfer, and then you had Spider-Man Unlimited, Avengers United They Stand, and then it comes up to X-Men 97. That's technically now part of that universe, right? Because it takes place around that same time. There were some canceled series, apparently. They had a Daredevil show. It was Daredevil the animated series. They had a Captain America animated series, Ghost Rider animated series, and one that that kind of fueled some fire to me too. Black Panther the animated series, and then the Black Widow. So I'm feeling like, because they teased us with the T'Chaka thing, I think we're gonna get a Black Panther series, bro.
I don't think it's gonna be Black Panther. You know what I think it's gonna be?
Like a Wakanda show?
Agents of Wakanda.
Well, there is a show that they are working on, but I want to say that I thought it connected to the MCU, but maybe it doesn't. Maybe they might have just said that just to say it. I can't. There's somebody that I follow. His name's Mark Bernard, and he's like a writer. He's a TV writer now. He does a lot of stuff with Kevin Smith. They're on the podcast Fat Man Beyond. I listen to it all the time. I can't remember. I want to say that he is working on a Black Panther animated series, if I'm not mistaken. But I assumed originally that it was connected to the MCU, but the way that it sounded like it might be connected to this stuff now.
Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if it is, because it would definitely be worth watching. It would definitely worth watching. Like, we never got any real cartoon. No, yes, we never really got a real cartoon of Black Panther outside of him being in the Avengers, that 2010 series that you and I were talking about. In season 2, he had a big part into being an Avenger with him, Captain Marvel, and Captain Marvel was the leader of the team. That was the only time we really seen T'Challa with the team. After that, we never really seen him in a cartoon.
You might be thinking of something different. He was actually, so in Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, he had a big part to play through all of season 1. But in terms of this 90s animation, I want to say he was in an episode of the Fantastic Four, because they introduced him very much the same way that they introduced him in the comics, which was in the Fantastic Four comic, where he's basically trying to take on the Fantastic Four to see if he's worthy enough to be King of Wakanda and be the Black Panther. So I'm wondering if something like that ties into will tie into what would be the Black Panther animated series, or if there's anything to this. I want to say it might be Agents of Wakanda. Agents of Wakanda. It's not really showing me anything. It's just showing me the comic.
But, that's what I'm saying too. It's showing the comic, but that's what I'm thinking. That's what's going to happen is that we're going to end up getting a show called Agents of Wakanda. And then it also had me thinking too. So we've seen a lot of Daredevil in this episode. Or we've seen a lot of Daredevil. Then it had me thinking, like, what are we getting since we seen Daredevil in Spider-Man? What are we getting with these two? Because then now you know only that you see him being protected by Cloak and Dagger. So they're not defenders. They're not heroes for hire. They're just street level heroes. I don't think they really have a real tie to Daredevil like that.
No, not really. I'm trying to think of where they pop up a lot. I mean, I know that they had their own solo series in the comics, but as far as teams, I'm trying to think. Let's see. Team affiliations: X-Men, Dark X-Men, Secret Avengers, Runaway, New Warriors, Secret Defenders, or Marvel Knights. Marvel Knights, notoriously, all street level characters. So you got your Daredevil, Cloak and Dagger, Punisher, Blade, I'm pretty sure is in Marvel Knights.
Which Spider-Man
is funny. Time was considered a Marvel Knight.
Which is funny. Because now you said that, right? All the people you said, think about it, were all on Spider-Man.
True.
Blade, Daredevil.
Well,
except for Cloak and Dagger, there's only two. What was the other one you said? When you said that was you. You said Blade, Daredevil, those two. Oh, Punisher. Punisher was definitely on Spider-Man.
Punisher was in Spider-Man. He played a big part in at least a couple episodes, like with the storyline. Yep. Yeah, dude. I would be remiss if I were just. I almost think that for sure they're gonna have a Marvel Knights TV show. That would be so sick, especially if they
hell yeah.
They go ahead and crank it up to like TVM. That'd be pretty sick.
Hell yeah. Like, man, we already got you already showed us majority of the characters. So I definitely see a lot of big things happening with all these characters. Like you said, Alpha Flight. I wouldn't be surprised if they give us an Alpha Flight cartoon.
I would. I don't think
the Guardian, not the one. I was about to say the Guardians, but you know what I meant. I don't think so either, but the way they gave us certain things, I can see certain things. I can see it happening.
Right.
And then I sent you something about that too, with a speculation of how they're going to break it down. They're going to have the MC, like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They're going to have a Marvel Animated Universe.
It's not speculation. That's true. They are doing it that way now. It's not speculation.
They are?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's
good.
A little piece of news,
Good news, everyone.
So Marvel Studios announced that they now have 3 divisions, which is going to be Marvel Cinematic Universe. So that's Marvel movies, Marvel Studios technically. So that's everything MCU related, everything live action related. Marvel Television, which is going to be, all of your the Disney Plus shows that they had. So your Miss Marvel, your Moon Knights, that sort of stuff, those sort of shows. And Marvel Animation, so that's going to include What If and X-Men 97 now. But then, what else? I mean, they got to fill that. They got to fill that that portion of it out with stuff. They can't just have these 2 shows. So, I mean, obviously, we know X-Men 97 got a season 2 and a season 3. They're pretty much already done with season 2. That's coming out, if I'm not mistaken, next year. I don't know if they announced the date. But season 3, they're probably still working on that now. What If season 3 is coming pretty soon? But they're not. There's no way that they're just going to do just those 2 shows. They are for sure going to be filling that, that sector up with some bangers. You know what I'm saying? So I'm almost certain that they are going to do either a Wakanda show, or like a Black Panther show for sure. Because again, there's no way you tease like, oh, King T'Chaka. Like a majority of people would have been like, oh, okay, we know that's Black Panther, that's T'Challa, we know who that is, But the fact that they put it in there that it's King T'Chaka and not T'Challa, that's like a seed right there that we're gonna see grow eventually. I feel like.
Yep.
The fact that we got Cap and Iron Man together, I don't recall if Cap was ever in the Iron Man TV series. I don't think he was. So the fact that they're there together leads me to believe that we might end up getting like a legit Avengers TV show with like, the Avengers team. So like Iron Man, Cap, possibly Hulk, probably Ant-Man and Wasp, maybe Hawkeye, maybe. I don't know. Possibly Quicksilver and Wanda because they were Avengers as well. That gives you a tie-in to freaking the X-Men. Who else? I don't think that they would do a Fantastic Four TV show, animated series right now. They could, but I feel like they would want all the hype to be towards the movie coming out next year. So, I feel like that would be that they might like leave alone for now. What other TV series would you think other than? I mean, we talked about Marvel Knights. I feel like that's almost a shoo-in that you have to do that.
I'm pointing like you can see mine right above me. The A. Mine.
Yeah, Spider-Man. Another Spider-Man.
Definitely getting a TV show. You already know it's coming.
Kind of have to at this point. I mean, like we've had so many. We've had a couple of bangers of Spider-Man TV series, but if you were to somehow like reboot the classic, 90s animated series, set it in that same universe, and especially since we've seen him now twice in X-Men 97, it's like
you've seen him with his suit on and without his suit.
Yeah, 100%. Like that right there is a take my money. Take my money.
Mm-hmm. Please take my money.
I mean, that's like a gimme. That's like you could print your own money off of freaking Spider-Man's back. X-Men and
Spider-Man sells.
Oh, 100%. Spider-Man's the face of freaking is literally the face of Marvel.
Hands down.
I want somebody to argue in the comments about that too, because
there's no way that anybody can argue that Spider-Man is
right.
not the face. You can't argue that. But there's nobody you
literally put him on the comic.
Who can you put above Spider-Man? Yeah, who?
No, I don't think you can put anybody above Spider-Man.
Steve, we know what he was doing.
Somebody would probably try to argue Cap or Iron Man, but no.
You can't.
Maybe of the MCU at one point in time, but Spider-Man is the face of Marvel, 100%.
Hands down, comic book, cartoons.
Always.
You can't see a cartoon or comic book and then say not think of Spider-Man. No, it's not possible. But I'm trying to think of who else out of that series. No, that's the only things I can think of, like Spider-Man, possibly something with the like you said. We're hoping Marvel Knights, Avengers. We might get an Avenger team. Outside of that, I honestly can't think of anything else that we're going to be getting. Well, in X-Men Season 2, it might be dropping early in 2025. It might actually be dropping this year because the voice actor for Rogue said she finished her stuff with Season 2. So it's a possibility we might be getting it earlier than that. We might be getting it either in the summer or in the winter.
Daddy.
Yeah. Need that ASAP, like Rocky.
Yeah.
Freaking.
Yeah.
I need that like yesterday. But I'm trying to think, dude. The only other thing I would say is I would want something maybe cosmic.
I would love something cosmic that's not ruined by a bunch of fucktards. Let me make a woman Silver Surfer. Great idea. No, it's not. I don't care if it's a female Silver Surfer. I need the original Silver Surfer.
I heard that supposedly we are going to get one. Like, this supposedly is taken in the movie. It's supposedly. This is all speculation. People are saying that it takes place in an alternate universe. That eventually that team is going to cross over into the main 616 Marvel MCU universe, and they will also meet the Silver Surfer of that universe. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm not. We won't know until we get a trailer. But I do have some actually juicy news that's off topic that I'm gonna save. Of course, I'm gonna save to the end. Oh. But yeah, it's not. It's completely different. But yeah, I'm actually kind of curious.
I know. No. Yes, but no.
Actually, you know who's popular that I didn't realize who was popular?
Who?
Howard the fucking Duck.
Yes, he kind of is. Like, he's not as. I mean, he's not like crushing sales or nothing. But I mean, I think there's a market for Howard the Duck.
I didn't realize how popular he was until like I started like Googling shit, and he kept popping up. I'm like, bro, why the fuck do I keep seeing Howard the Duck? Like, get off my screen. Get out of here.
Who I would like to see get a spin-off of X-Men 97 might be the Imperial Guard. So like the Shi'ar Empire's Imperial Guard. So you got like Gladiator.
Yes.
All of those characters. That would be kind of tight. I just don't know how popular it would be unless they really kind of lean into it in X-Men 97 and then kind of build it up. But other than that, I just don't know. Like I know who they are. I like them, but I just don't know just how popular that would be enough to make like its own series.
Just think about it. It would be like a cartoon version of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Even though we did have a cartoon of it, but I'm saying like movie wise, like this is like the best time. You already seen them in the show in X-Men 97. Push it. Fuck.
Sorry, there was like a fly or something that freaking. But you know what? It'd be like Game of Thrones in space, because they gave us a little bit of that, a little taste of that while in the episode with Charles while he was there. And the fact like how quickly Lillian take the throne from her. So like you can tell like they're teetering on the edge there of like some political backdrop type of shit. Some like political like stingers and shit. So I could kind of see that. Give us like an Imperial Guard or Shi'ar Empire show and see them like going to war with like the Kree, the Skrulls, or the Phalanx, which is their real like rival. That'd be cool.
Yeah. Like this is the time to actually kind of push that narrative of like these low class or C-level characters, because like don't put out some BS, but really put some thought into it and push it, because Marvel's hot right now. Like Marvel's been hot for the last 15, 20 years.
Yeah, for sure. Like the last 15 years, for sure.
Yeah, and then what you did was you kind of messed up, but now you're bringing it back. What you did was you bought out a lot of the characters from Sony Fox, both. We got the X-Men that's coming to the MCU. We got Deadpool's coming to the MCU. Definitely X-Men, huge group, very popular group that's coming to the MCU. So like, bro, like James Gunn did a great job pushing. You got the Fantastic Four coming. James Gunn did a great job pushing the Guardians, I should say, for us, but Guardians of the Galaxy. Make it popular for the lower end, like you said, Marvel Knights. But even though we already got it, and then you're gonna see Daredevil push the Defenders again, like find a way to pull them into the MCU, or I mean, well, Five City either in the MCU or MT or the Marvel Television. Bring another season back of that. Like, come on, like, oh, and we are getting Daredevil. I just don't remember when, but we're getting Daredevil soon too.
Oh yeah, Born Again.
Yeah,
I think that's probably next year, if I'm not mistaken. But like,
I believe so. Yeah,
this. I feel like this would be a good. So like Marvel Animation went now. While animation costs quite a bit, I don't think it's nearly as expensive, obviously, as shooting something live action, especially with a ton of CGI and effects and stuff like that. I would want to say that animation is a little bit more low budget. While it's not low budget in the sense of low budget, it's lower budget than like a trying to do a big huge tentpole movie, like blockbuster movie, where it's a little bit of a smaller scale. You know, you could do it week to week like they've been doing, build that anticipation and stuff like that, and kind of use it as like a testing ground for like, hey, are people going to be interested in these characters if we roll them into these movies? Now, obviously, it's not going to be 100% connected to the MCU proper, like the cinematic side of it. But like you can kind of gauge people's reactions to that without having spent a ton of money, you know, as much money as you would like on a television series like they have done and failed at those a couple of times, or like not done as well on those a couple of times, or big huge blockbuster movies that end up flopping because people didn't want to see the average movie. Do it on a smaller scale. See what people like, and hey, if they end up really liking it, you get a really good response from it. Okay, sure, we'll roll this character out into this show, into this television series, or to this movie, you know, without having to go big budget, you know, go big or go home type of thing. You know, really kind of it makes more sense to do it that way than to, oh yeah, we're just gonna throw it into a movie. Now saying that, it almost sounds like they took freaking James Gunn's business model a little bit, because he's kind of doing that on DC's side, because that's what he's doing with Creature Commandos. It's an animated series that is going to be coming out before Superman. Now, I'm not saying that he's using that to kind of gauge what people are thinking, but at the same time, you got to think like, okay, if the reaction to it isn't as big, he's not necessarily going to use that to roll out into live action, because, you know, okay, we can keep it lower budget and just stick it, you know, keep it to the animation. Maybe one or two of these characters might make it out into the live action versus let's do a whole Creature Commando show. You know what I'm saying? So he was already talking about stuff, and it seems like Marvel's kind of taken a little bit from that and been like, let's do a little bit of something like this here. The only difference is they're a little bit faster at it because they have a bigger house to freaking deal with. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So they can get shit done a little bit quicker. Could be. Yeah,
I agree. Great. Like I said, it's a great idea. Why not? It's about this. It's this time to push those lower end characters. Like, why not? Like, make it like, you know, we're like, us Marvel fans are on a high right now. So at this point, you give us anything Marvel, we're gonna watch it.
Right. And that's just it. Though too, is like they know that people are gonna go see it. Well, maybe not the movies. The movies have really they really dipped quite a bit. And I mean, Marvel's was like the biggest indicator of we're not just always gonna you want us to see. Now, if it's something that a service that we already pay for and it's going to be on there, we don't have to pay. Then sure, you know, we'll check it out when we get around to it, type of deal. Or if it's something that's big and hyped like X-Men was, people are going to, you know, tune into it weekly and actually freaking watch it. So I think the consumers are. I think it seems like Marvel Studios or Disney are starting to learn a little bit. Like, oh, you know what? Maybe they're not always just gonna freaking go rolling out to every movie that we want them to see. Let's start it slow. Let's start slow and then build up to something and see if they'll actually freaking go for it going forward and stuff. Let's gauge what the hype is off of these TV shows and stuff like off of these animated series and stuff like that. So, or they're just like, you know, we want to give these people who grew up on this shit some more nostalgia. Either way, like, hey, I'm here for the Marvel animation. I'm a huge fan. I was a huge fan of this show. Can't wait for more X-Men 97, or if they call it X-Men 98, or who knows what they're going to end up calling. Maybe it'll just be X-Men 97 for the whole thing. Who knows? But I really want to see if there's any more Marvel animation coming out, because they really kind of built some stuff up, and I built a lot up in my mind, and now I want it to happen. It needs to happen, damn it. Take my money.
It does. Please do. Please do. You already take $18.99 from me. Like, make this shit better, please.
For real. But yeah, man. I mean, was there anything else? I mean, you alluded to that you had something that you wanted to share. There was a news story that you wanted to share.
Yes. Hold on one second.
Good news, everyone.
So this has nothing to do with Marvel.
Okay.
1 second. This has to do with somebody else. I don't know if you saw, but we are finally getting what we've been waiting for. Season 1, The Cape Crusader, the animated series. It's called The Cape Crusader. Batman the Cape Crusader. We are getting it. August 1st, 10 episodes. All 10 episodes will be dropped on Prime Video. Oh, I can't see your reaction because you fucking froze. Oh, I can't believe this.
I don't know. I see it on my end. Hopefully it's in the video.
Now it is. I see you rubbing your hands together, but August 1st, giggity. Oh, hell no. That's
Perfect.
that giggity. All right.
Giggity. All right. Fucking dude. Yeah. I cannot wait. I can't wait for that to come out. And the fact that they're dropping all 10 episodes. Woo.
Yep. So I'm definitely August 1st. I'm glued, absolutely glued to my TV. That, and I believe this is the last time we're gonna hear Kevin Conroy.
Was he?
I think he is Batman. He's supposed to be the voice, and it's Batman, I believe.
No, really?
Yeah, I think this is the last work he's done.
Hold up.
So I thought it was going to be in DCUO. That's the last time we hear Kevin Conroy, but no. I believe it's going to be here, the Cape Crusader.
Hold up. Let's see. Damn it! Come on. Clarify. Hold up. Clarifies rumors of Kevin Conroy's casting. On Wednesday, it was reported that Kevin Conroy had recorded dialogue as Batman for upcoming animated. Oh, that's Justice Press on it. But that it wasn't known if he was voicing Batman character. It's reported that had done some work for Cape Crusader. Series co-creator and producer Bruce Timm clarified that Conroy did not actually record any dialogue, but that he was planning to before his passing. Okay.
Oh, so it's not him.
Sound like it. No, I think they have somebody else voicing. So
all
that.
Right, let me look. All right, yeah, it doesn't say, but yeah, that's all I got. I just wanted to tell you, August 1st, Batman: The Cape Crusader, 10 episodes.
There was one other thing. Oh. I know that there's something coming out next week. So DCUO fans, if you're waiting for the new DLC, it's coming out next Thursday, May 21st.
Yep.
That's Brainiac Returns. I feel like there was something else coming in June. Is there something coming in June?
Not what I know of.
I felt like there was something content wise coming out in June. I don't necessarily remember now. One other piece of content that I'm really excited for coming, I think it's later this year in November. Assassin's Creed. Shadows.
I'm looking forward to that.
Where you could play as either it looks like a female ninja, or maybe I don't know if you'd be able to swap genders on the ninja, but you also get to play as Yasuke, the samurai, aka the African American, or the African samurai, I should say, not African American because he was not from America. I don't think, but yeah, Yasuke, the samurai, which is gonna be sick. The trailer for it looked dope. Not gameplay, but the cinematic for it looked freaking awesome. Looked freaking awesome. I can't wait for that to come out. I will be playing. I will be hopping into Assassin's Creed again. Now, the last one I played, I think, was Odyssey. I didn't play Valhalla. Heard it was pretty decent. But
I can't tell you. I don't think I played an Assassin's Creed game, but this one I'm definitely playing. It's literally in the era like that Edo time period.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. It's like right before the Edo period. Because the Edo period was the time of peace. It's literally I think it's like the period right before, if not maybe even a little bit prior to that. It's like the 14 or 1500, something along those lines. But yeah, I can't wait, dude. Which I just saw a bunch of stuff on TikTok of people I don't know if this is AI generated stuff or if somebody actually did do these concepts for themselves. But one was an Aztec Assassin's Creed, set in freaking classic or classic Mayan period or classic Aztec period. Right before the conquistadors came to take over, or that the conquistadors are part of
your time story.
It's they're part of. I mean, they're part of the people that
they're trying to take over.
They're trying to take over, and then so the assassin
you're trying to stop them.
An Aztec warrior, which looked freaking sick. And then another one was a Scottish Braveheart version of it, where William Wallace is one of the characters that you could play as. Otherwise, it'd be one of the other Scots and stuff. Looked kind of cool. Honestly, I would take it. If Assassin's Creed did something like that, that'd be pretty sick. I know that God of War is going to be doing something similar in terms of. I don't know if the next God of War, the full game of God of War with Kratos, is going to be in Egypt, or if it's going to be possibly in Japan, or again classic Aztec Empire. Because they alluded to those in both Ragnarok and the first new God of War in 2018. Which recently I did see something that they are potentially going to be dropping a new God of War game, but it's not going to be with Kratos. It's going to be with where you play as Atreus, kind of like how they did Spider-Man Miles Morales. So rather than you play Kratos, it's like you're playing as Atreus, sort of in between Ragnarok and then whatever the next game is going to be. Yeah, I don't know if it's true or if it's actually coming out or not, but that'd be kind of cool. I'd be interested to get into that. Yeah. So in summary, folks, X-Men 97 was sick. Go watch the whole thing if you haven't seen it. If you haven't, what the F is wrong with you? You need to go get on that ASAP and then let us know what you thought. If you did watch it while it was happening, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Let us know if you're excited about Assassin's Creed Shadows, if you're excited about Batman the Caped Crusader, which I'm freaking hyped for. I can't wait to see it. I know this guy is hyped for it as well. Let us know. Let us know if there's anything else you guys want us to talk about. I know one thing that we didn't talk about, which was the finale of Shogun. We're going to have to talk about that on the next episode because we meant to talk about it last time, and we got overwhelmed with other stuff that we were talking about today. But
yeah.
I think that's about all I got, man. Do you got anything else?
That's it. So you already know what time it is. Class is dismissed. I said dismissed. So class is dismissed. We appreciate everybody watching. And please like, follow, subscribe.
Yes.
Hey! I got it. You chill back there. All right, God damn it. But yeah, please like, comment, subscribe. Our channels are below. They're below. Yeah, I wish you could see the whole hand go through. And you already know what time it is. Hey, please drop that banger.
Oh, you mean the outro?
Drop that banger.
Let's drop the outro.
Peace. This is the way.